my name's MacMaster and I'm the Conservation Officer for Saving Scotland's Red Squirrels in Tayside. Today's the first day of the Great Scottish Squirrel Survey and we've come to Glent Tilt to see if we can find any squirrels today. So this is a particularly nice woodland for red squirrels because there are so many different species, tree species. So here we've got a nice stand of Scots pine, and just over there we've got the Norway spruce, and then interspersed with it all we've got you know, other broadleaves and things like that. So and these trees are used by red squirrels at different times of year and for different reasons. It may be for food supply, or it may be for shelter as well. Oh yeah, so here we have some evidence of red squirrel presence. And these are the cones from Scots pine, which are just behind us now. And as you can see, they are quite frayed, where the squirrel has stripped the scales to get at the seeds. So we know the red squirrels are here. Now we just need to spot one. Can you see that one? That tree? It actually looks like the entrance is facing us. So yeah, it could be a squirrel grey, but I don't know. Possibility.
What other animals could it be?
This could be a bird nest. There's quite a lot of moss on the outside. It could be.
So, do you see red squirrels along here quite a lot, Anne-Marie?
Yes, the last time I was here with Kaylee, we saw a red squirrel. Or I think I did, but Kaylee missed it.
And I take it this part of the country is all red, there's no greys?
Yeah, so we're up here in Glent Tilt, which is just outside Blair Atholl. And in this area we only have red squirrels. Grey squirrels are found along the Highland line, which is a 10-kilometre wide line which runs from Montrose through Currymuir, Blairgowrie, Dunkeld, Crieff and out to the west.
Would a squirrel eat one of those?
I'm not sure about this particular species of fungi, but squirrels certainly at this time of year, this is one of the food types that they'll start to you know, harvest and cache for later on in the year when food supplies are a lot less. What they tend to do is they will take the fungi up into the tree and wedge it where a branch joins the tree, just to allow it to dry out, and then they can come back and eat it at a later date.
Oh, that's quite clever.
Yeah. I used to live more rurally than I do now, and I was looking out the kitchen window one day and I saw this thing up in a birch tree, and I thought, what's that? And I got the binoculars out and realised that it was a fungi that a squirrel had taken up a tree and lodged up there for a later date.
This seems like it might be a good spot for squirrel spotting.
Where are they? It is quite hot today, so maybe they're just resting up.
Although they don't hibernate in the winter, don't they not?
No, they do not hibernate. This is a common misbelief that a lot of people still have today. But plenty of evidence that they're in this area. Again, this is us in Norway spruce, which is a good tree species for providing food for squirrels. And there's all this evidence all here of all the cones that they've stripped to get the seeds from.
Oh yeah, that's quite a good one down there.
Yeah.
So there's been a few times where we've thought we've maybe heard a red squirrel, but how can you tell it's not just a wee bird flying about?
Well, I guess the thing to do is, as soon as you hear something, just try and home in on it straight away. And typically what you might hear when there's a squirrel around is the scratching of their nails on the bark, or they make a warning sound as well. If you surprise them, they'll make a noise that doesn't really sound like anything else, and I'm not going to impersonate it, but they will, you know, if you surprise them, they will typically run up a tree, round the other side, and they'll stop. They'll be making the noise and they'll be frantic tail wagging, and that's them scolding you for giving them a fright. And that's quite a good. It's quite good to draw your attention to them. And this morning when I was out on field work, I noticed the squirrel because it was shouting at me.
So if you heard a noise and you've got a rough idea of where you heard it, are you best looking up there? They're more likely to go up than run down.
Yeah, I'd say just turn and aim for where you're hearing the noise coming from, and be looking generally up. Because as I say, if you frighten them, they will go up the tree for safety. So we're not been very successful as yet. However, I've been told there's a hide nearby, so we're just going to take a look and see if we can spot some red squirrels from there. That's a nuthatch, not a squirrel.
So we're at the Red Squirrel Hide, and so far we've seen a lot of nuthatches, which is great, but not so many red squirrels. What's a good thing to leave out if you're wanting to attract squirrels to your garden?
Quite often people have red squirrels visiting their garden when the red squirrels come and take the food that they intend for birds. But when feeding red squirrels specifically, people tend to feed peanuts and also assorted fruits and seeds, because it's quite important that the red squirrels get a varied diet. It'd be pretty unusual for a red squirrel to be only feeding in someone's garden. But certainly when they're young, you want them to learn to forage properly and be able to, you know, maximise all the different seeds and fruits and fungi that they can get.
Yeah, and I think the feeders here are only topped up sporadically.
Yeah, they're not. It's not a regular thing at all, which is good.
And the reason we're doing this week is because it's the Great Scottish Squirrel Survey, which is our national campaign that we've been running for the past 3 years at the same week, National Red Squirrel Week, where basically we just want people all over Scotland to get outdoors at some point during that week, have a look out for squirrels, and if you see one, red or grey, go onto our website, scottishsquirrels.org.uk, and let us know about it. And what do you actually do? Because you're the conservation officer for Tayside, so what do you actually do with that sighting once it comes through to the website?
So, as you said, Jill, we run this survey for the same week every year. And what that means is that we have a comparable data set that we can look at and look for changes in distribution of red and grey squirrels over time. Here in Tayside, it's our job to protect the core red squirrel population in the Highlands and Grampian, and so we try to act as much as we can on grey squirrel sightings within and north of the Highland line, because we need to make sure that grey squirrels don't expand their range, because this would ultimately be very bad news for the red squirrel.